Terrible here, and it's especially bad in the winter because to stay warm they burn pretty much anything. Right?
Yeah, we saw the big smoke cloud yesterday.
So it just sort of sits in.
Ugh. So like, what's all this stuff?
These are, they call these jingle trucks.
Jingle trucks?
Yeah, I don't know. The drivers just like to decorate their own trucks. And this is one of the main thoroughfares in the town, so they park here overnight. Huh. And they carry on with their business. Yeah, so it's about, they figure about 3.5 million people living in town here.
3.5 million people living in town.
Probably infrastructure for less than 1 million.
Less than 1 million, wow.
Yeah, so it's pretty rough. You look at the traffic here already.
And it's like not even 7.
No.
Wow. And there's obviously like no rules.
No, as I said, the traffic laws are pretty hit and miss. Struggle for survival, right? A very Hobbesian kind of society. But you know what's strange though is that you talk to. I had a general come visit me. My commander from out in Edmonton, he came to visit 3 months ago, and he'd been here 18 months prior, and he couldn't believe the transformation. He thought the progress was remarkable.
Yeah.
So it's by our standards, it's shockingly bad, but by the standards of people who were here in 01, when the Taliban were ruling,
right?
And there was no power, and every single woman was in a burqa. And being flogged incessantly, and people being hanged in the sports complex. You know what I mean? For
kids getting shot. And stuff.
Oh yeah, it was just absolute bedlam.
Wow. Well, the gentleman that's traveling with us, the guy who's from here.
Yeah.
I don't remember his name.
Hamza.
Yeah, he was saying that this was just all rubble when he was a kid.
Yeah.
Like he grew up here. Imagine. Like, are these homes?
No, primarily commerce. So in some cases, they live, but they're living behind them or something.
Right.
Yeah. This is more sort of a commercial strip, if you will.
Commercial strip. Check it out.
Like I said, because it's that main thoroughfare, right, to Jalalabad, Pakistan.
Yeah.
So this is...
so people can get to Pakistan on this road?
Yeah, effectively. The road's pretty much due east. And see, a lot of these are remnants of the old Soviet era.
Okay.
Those brutal-looking Soviet tenements. You'll find, similar places in Warsaw or Berlin. Probably not anymore. They've probably all been raised by now, but certainly 20 years ago you would have.
Jeez.
And certainly within the Afghan government, you find, some of these guys have been Western educated and just, have that proper sort of moral and ethical frame of reference, and then they start taking on these important positions, and then it eventually starts to permeate its way down. But it's not easy.
No, and
it's not easy when an Afghan minister makes the equivalent of about $5,000 a year. And you got drivers working for NGOs making $40,000 a year.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's a hard thing to crack, right?
It just takes so long.
It's I think it's going to take a tremendous amount of time. It's good because it's based on education. It's based on things like communications infrastructure. So my point is that this is not only about corruption per se, but about morality and dealing with Islamism, which is really thrives in an ignorant environment, right? So what happens is you've got a society that's 85% illiterate.
Illiterate, yeah.
And they don't use it. Kids are going to school now to the tune of 8 million a year, which is tremendous. I mean, during the Taliban, it was 400,000 kids at most, only boys.
Yeah.
I might add. And now it's 8 million with about 40% girls.
Wow.
And and these kids are going to grow up, and they already are. I mean, they're already starting to hit the stride because we've been here 10 years now, right? And even in the military, where every single soldier that we're training is being taught to read to a grade 3 level eventually.
Oh, wow.
And we're talking, like I said, 85% of literacy rates coming in.
Oh.
So we're changing an entire generation. So eventually these people get to learn to read. And then when you couple that with building of communications towers that allow access to internet, well, guess what? How do you think the Arab Spring happened in North Africa?
Right.
It was all internet based, right? It was people they're looking overseas and they're looking at how people live elsewhere, and they came to the determination that they weren't
Didn't have
happy
to live
living.
like that, yeah. Wow.
And that's what so at the risk of sounding like the eternal optimist, that's what I kind of hinge on,
Oh, for sure, you have to.
Yeah, otherwise you drive yourself nuts.
Yeah, exactly.